morning. My name is Mike, and this is the Hot Seat. On the Hot Seat today is the 3-year report card on the Pretender-in-Chief, Barry Soetoro Hussein Obama, and any other name he'd like to go by. Again, these stats are from the end of 2011, which of course, things have gotten worse. So the numbers I give you are a little off, but we're going to have some fun. When Obama was inaugurated, the price of gasoline, regular gasoline, was $1.79 a gallon on average in the United States. Today that price is $3.59, though we know it's about $3.90 now. Well over a 100% increase. The number of food stamp recipients has risen since Obama took office from 31,983,716 to well over 43 million, over a 35% jump. Long-term unemployment soared 146.2% during the same 32-month period, from 2.6 million to 6.4 million. That's really good hope and change. American citizens living in poverty have risen 9.5% from 39.8 million to 43.6 million, and of course that number is higher as well. The number of unemployed has jumped almost 25%, from 11.6 million to well over 15 million as of August 31st, 2011. And we know that the unemployment rate is over 19%. That is the highest it's been in this country since the 1930s. The number of unemployed blacks has risen from 12.6% at the end of George Bush's term to 15.8% today. A 25.4% increase. So, as I've said on earlier shows, we know the vast majority of African Americans and other minorities voted for Barry strictly because of his color. No, they're not going to admit it in a survey. They're not going to admit it on camera, but we know that it's true. Our national debt is up over 34.4%, from 10.6 trillion to now over 15.7 and climbing. Keep these figures in mind as we recount the number of firsts for this wonderful presidency of hope and change. Barry is the first president to show a valid birth certificate. No, he never showed one. He's the first president to apply for college aid as a foreign student, then deny he was a foreigner. How could a foreigner not be a foreigner and apply for foreign aid? First president to have a social security number from a state he has never lived in. Barry is the first president to preside over a cut to the credit rating of the United States. And we know how damaging that was. Barry is the first president to violate the War Powers Act. And he's violated it on several occasions. Barry is the first president to be held in contempt of court for illegally obstructing oil drilling in the Gulf of Mexico. Barry is the first president to defy a federal judge's court order to cease implementing the health care reform law. which of course is now under scrutiny. First president to require all Americans to purchase a product from a third party. First president to spend $1 trillion on shovel-ready jobs and later admit there was no such thing as shovel-ready jobs. First president to abrogate bankruptcy law to turn over control of companies to his union supporters. Car industry. First president to bypass Congress and implement the DREAM Act through executive fiat. DREAM was a pipe dream. First president to order a secret amnesty program that stopped the deportation of illegal immigrants across the U.S., including those with criminal convictions. Barry's the first president to demand a company hand over $20 billion to one of his political appointees. Barry's the first president to terminate America's ability to put a man in space. Barry's the first president to encourage racial discrimination and intimidation at polling places, Acorn, Philadelphia. First president to have a law signed by an auto pen without being president, just like as he was senator, president. First president to arbitrarily declare an existing law unconstitutional and refuse to enforce it. First president to threaten insurance companies if they publicly speak out on the reasons for the rate increases. First president to tell a major manufacturing company in which state they are allowed to locate a factory. Barry is the first president to file lawsuits against the states he swore an oath to protect, Arizona, Wisconsin, Ohio, and Indiana. First president to withdraw an existing coal permit that had been properly issued years ago. Barry is the first president to fire an Inspector General of America Corps for catching one of his friends in a corruption case. Barry is the first president to appoint 45 czars to replace elected officials in his office. Barry is the first president to golf 73 separate times in his first 2.5 years in office. Barry is the first president to hide his medical, education, and travel records. Barry is the first president to win a Nobel Peace Prize for doing nothing to earn it. Barry is the first president to coddle American enemies while alienating America's allies. Barry is the first president to publicly bow to America's enemies while refusing to salute the U.S. flag. President Barry was the first to go on multiple global apology tours. Barry was the first president to go on 17 lavish vacations, including date night and Wednesday evening White House parties for his friends, paid for by the taxpayer. Barry is the first president to wear the U.S. flag lapel pin. Barry is the first president to have 22 personal servants paid by the taxpayer for his wife. Barry is the first president to keep a dog trainer on retainer for $102,000 a year at taxpayer expense. Barry is the first president to repeat the Holy Quran, tells us and openly admit the early morning call of the Azan, Islamic call to worship, is the most beautiful sound on earth. Remember that 32 months of Obama White House, we the people have accumulated national debt at a rate more than 27 times faster than the rest of our nation's entire history, as Obama plans their next extravagant vacation to Indonesian island nation of Bali. Hope and change. The sources for this, folks, are the Energy Information Administration, the Wall Street Journal, Bureau of Labor Statistics, U.S. Department of Labor, Standard & Poor's, Case-Shiller, Federal Reserve, U.S. Treasury, and the Heritage Foundation. Folks, clearly, Obama deserves an F for the job he's done these last 38 months. And in retrospect, did Barry really fail, or did the American people really fail? Obama was vetted in 2008. He hung out with radical extremists. He hung out with terrorists. He went to churches of bigots and racist. And yet, he was elected president. He was further vetted by more proof of these associations. And yet, Barry is ahead of the polls. So I submit to you, the American voter, has failed this country. Barry laughs at all of us. My name is Mike, and this is The Hot Seat.